Alright, on the die roll. It's a good start. This hand's actually a little awkward, right? Because, like, I don't actually want to play my Flamekin Harbinger on one. Morosith actually published it this morning. I forgot to upload it yesterday. So it's up on YouTube now. I forgot to upload it yesterday. I missed it while I was midstream and then didn't notice that I forgot to upload it afterwards. It was not good, spoilers, but it is up there. Now, I'm actually not going to play this on one because I want to draw some land so we can curve out into this collecting company, I think. Yeah, it was just kind of like classic, derpy, modern, like, this isn't quite good enough for, like, this isn't quite fast enough to race the linear decks. It's not quite interactive enough to, like, keep up with the non-linear decks. What's going on, Nivik? Oh, got a little pause here where they gotta read Wolf-Skull Shaman. You know what modern staple Wolf-Skull Shaman does, opponent? He's gonna make it rain wolves. One of the things that I'm not sure makes sense in this deck is that it's playing a bunch of copies of these cards, which make your Tree Folk and Shaman spells cost one less, but, like, at the same time, like, it's trying to ramp into cards like Collected Company. So I feel like these would probably be better spent as, like, cards that would like to use Wolf-Skull Shaman's ability. Alright, so we hit our lands on curve, so that's nice. Yeah, it's weird to me, and there aren't 4 Rattleclaw Mystics in this deck, so, like, the fact that there aren't 4 Rattleclaws feels a little bit strange. Yeah, the 4 Silence build of Jeskai Ascendancy is, like, pretty good against Storm. Like, Silence is, like, a heck of a hate card against them. It's very cheap in terms of mana, and it's very efficient at disrupting them. Morning Sky. Howdy, howdy. Yeah, there's no combo in this deck. It is just good honest shamany beatdowns. Rage Forger is, like, kind of your shaman payoff. So, like, this is like the big payoff for being tribal shamans. I have a 2-leg uplift. I'm pretty sure I'm just windmilling. Pretty sure we're just windmilling this collected company to try and find a Rage Forger. Wow, that worked. Okay, deal. I would like to buy my collecting company back. Is it sturdy? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, definitely. My kids bump into it all the time. I've got 3 monitors in my tower on it. Rage Forger deals extra damage to the opponent too. It also gets these out of, like, Anger of the Gods, Sweltering Sun's range, which is nice. Well, yes, I would like to use Rage Forger's ability. Unless they have, like, a Platinum Empyrean here, feels like we're in a pretty good spot. It's like went real wide. Surprised they didn't have Mana Leak or Remand or anything like that. I wonder what their hand is. Like, they didn't bolt any of our stuff there. Like, if they had a bolt, they could have bolted the Rage Forger before combat. Morning, Freaky Kiki. We're going to have some Kiki Cord later today. It's going to be great. And by great, I mean it's probably going to be terrible, but we're going to give it the college best. Alright, I guess they could have a bunch of Snapcaster Mages. That makes sense, some things they could have. This is going to ice my Rage Forger, I'd assume. Since it's a 2-2 that deals damage when these Shamans attack. Really? Do they have another... They have another piece of removal here? It can't be worse. That's true. That's true. The bar right now is pretty low. Oh, actually, I can use this Flamekin Harbinger to guarantee there's a Rage Forger on top of our deck, right? Because we really want to hit Rage Forger. I would like to put this Rage Forger on top of my deck. That's just good deck building right there. That's just good. Oh, yeah. Forge. I was forged in the rage of my enemies. Oh, yeah. Who's dead, opponent? Are you super dead? Sounds like you're super dead. Yeah. Shaman power. Get ya. Gonna get you drunk. Get you love drunk. Off Shaman's humps. His humps. His humps. His humps. Alright. Alright. Well, now that we've Rage Forgered our opponent into the ground. I don't even know if I can follow up that game with anything. I feel like we're just setting ourselves up for disappointment after that game. I feel like the bar has been set incredibly high to begin the day, and I can't possibly follow it up. Yeah, just like the breakdown of mana creature in this deck feels really weird to me. Like, there's 4 of this, but there's only 3 Rattleclaw Mystics, and Rattleclaw Mystics definitely feel like probably the most powerful ramp card in the deck. Like, it has haste, but like has less power, and like you can't use the mana off of this to cast Collecting Company. We've peaked, yep. If you're watching YouTube in the future, you should change to a different deck. We can't possibly get better from here. Everybody who's watching it live, you're stuck with this. You have to watch the rest of the league. But that was peak Shaman right there. Some peak Shaman action. Morning come in. Stand up. Get some blood flowing in the morning. The best spot I don't know about the best, but I'm definitely like top some small percentage. Seems pretty good. We get to go Flamekin Harbinger on 1. Then we get to just like curve right out. We get to find a 2-drop with the Harbinger. And then we get to go like Rage Forger puts you deep in the ground, because that's what the Shamans do. They put you in the ground. Lido, thank you for the bits. I appreciate it. Welcome. Good morning. Yeah, I think it's probably a deck building mistake that there isn't a Deathrite Shaman in the deck. Feel like that's the first piece of feedback. Deck 10 out of 10 wants some more Deathrite Shamans. Strong consideration for more Deathrite Shamans. Oh, this card can't actually get a 2-drop? Is that... Oh, it doesn't get Shamans, it gets Elementals. That's so sad. Alright, I guess I'm just getting another Flamekin. I just got the free mat that came with it. I just have the free anti-fatigue mat that was included with it. So we'll play another Flamekin Harbinger next turn, and then we'll just like cast Rage Forgers on 3, 4, 5. Despite all the rage, he is still just a shaman in a cage. I hope their hand is just like Mana Leaks, Remands, and Cryptic Commands right now. It's like ready to get given the shaman business. Justin could pick something this powerful. The quickest way to tell if it's a Justin deck is if it's a bad blue control deck or if it's got really terrible prison elements. Like the Vengevine Hollow One deck. Deck does some silly things. Stack the rage on top of our deck. Yeah, Justin sends in a lot of blue-white decks. A lot of blue-white decks. Oh, Nick Fit. Well, Nick Fit can play Sylvan Library, right? Oh no! They've penetrated our armor, chat. They've taken away our soul. They've taken away our souls. Honestly, in an aggressive deck like this, Fire Drinker Shaman's probably not terrible. Much worse with Deed. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. We're actually going to try a variation of Jund today that's playing 4 Tireless Trackers and 0 Dark Confidants. It's very similar to the black-green deck I've been playing, but with a splash. Oh no! Oh no! You're a monster, opponent! Have a heart! Why are you so mean? What a bully! What a bully! My poor Flamekin Harbingers! That's fine. This is still gonna attack for 5, right? This guy's gonna get a 1/1 counter. He's gonna trigger both Rage Forgers. He's gonna give you the beatdown. Yeah, trigger. Pump up, the pump up, the pump up, the jam. Pump up, the bump up, the bump up, the jam. Pump up, the bump up, the bump up, the jam. Alright. No bolt dealer. Oh, yeah. Give it to me, baby. Give it to me, baby. All the girlies say he's pretty fly for a white guy. It's a musical kind of morning, chat. It's a musical kind of morning. This, when I said this was the payoff for being Shaman Tribal, I wasn't kidding. Like, this card pushes a lot of damage very quickly if you have anything resembling a board. Card pushes a lot of damage very quickly. Rude. There isn't really any reach in my deck at the moment. Is Bloodbraid Elvish Shaman? Punishing Thieves, bonus democracy, Steam Flogger Boss, thank you for the bits. Noted. Bloodbraid Elf is an elf berserker. Oh, Bloodbraid. Flew too close to the sun. Flew too close to the sun, Bloodbraid. I'm gonna fetch basic forest here. Fetch me basic forest. Cast my Elvish Visionary. Visionary. Vision is scary. Starter evolution. Polluting the airwaves. Such a disaster. Such a catastrophe. You can see so goddamn much of my ass you asked for me. Well, I'm back. Am I supposed to attack with this Rage Forger for 2? Is it nuts to just cash this in for 2 points of damage? Is that crazy? Is it crazy? They had a sweeper. I feel like they would have swept already. They had Snapcaster. I feel like they probably would have Snap Flame Slashed me, but maybe they wouldn't have because they had blockers. I'm unsure if I'm supposed to snap, I think I'm supposed to just trade it in for 2 points of damage. A lot of my cards are lethal if I get 2 points of damage in here. And by a lot, I mean like all of them. Yeah, I'm just gonna give you the business. Cash it in, baby. Shaman of the Great Hunt. That's probably a shaman. That card sounds really great. It gives 1/1 counters too. It synergizes with Rage Forger. Yeah, he's an orc shaman. Yeah, that's we're marking off feedback. Shaman of the Great Hunt. Definitely getting on the list of feedback. I feel like not playing more Elvish Visionary is probably silly. That's the joke, Threvs. That's the joke. I joke, look, I kid. Yay, shamans. Yay, shamans. Cast with kicker, baby. Oh, yeah, give it to him, Mr. Ruinblaster. Blast him. Larynx Punchworthy. 28 months. That's a long time. Welcome back. I appreciate the continued support. Thank you. Thank you very much. And this is kind of sweet here, because they need to kill this, because if this gets to attack, I turn off their fetch land here too, because they're going to go to 1 from the Rage Forger trigger. So, we'll see. If they have a Cryptic Command here, we're probably going to see a tap draw. I don't control the colors of the on-screen chat. That is a negative. I can change the background color, but the background color makes different color names unreadable for different reasons. This is the second game in this match. We are up a game. He's playing Scalding Tarn. You should have lost. Yeah, this is a Harvest Pyre. Feels like a Harvest Pyre. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. All right. Well, I'm certainly in the business of making them have it, right? They need like Snapcaster Mage here. Well, I guess they could have like an Electrolyze or a Bolt here. Whoa! That's a Pestermite. Yes, sirree, Bob. That is certainly a Pestermite. Did they unban Splinter Twin? Is that a card I need to worry about? They're gonna Splinter Twin their Tarmogoyf, chat? What if they Splinter Twin their Tarmogoyf? How do I win then? How do I win if they Splinter Twin their Tarmogoyf? Ugh. We are so close, chat. We are so close, and now we're so far away. And now we're so far away. All right, on to the next one. We are despite all our rage, We are still just shamans in a cage. Someone will say what is lost can never be saved. I'm gonna board some lightning bolts in. Not only are they reach, but like they kill my opponent when we get into situations like that. I didn't not leave the bolts in. I didn't board them in. There are no bolts in the main deck of this deck. The deck list is on your screen. If you're on the computer, if you're on mobile, you can type !deck list to get a link to the deck in chat. Arena is just, it's really shaping up to be just like Wizards of the Coast trying to charge Magic Online prices for a CCG where you can never get your cards back out of. And I mean, like, I wish I could say, like, my gut is that I'm surprised that that's what's happening, but let's be honest, they've kind of set the tone that that's what we should have expected, right? God, Reclamation Sage is a shaman, and it's not in this deck too. Jeez, the person that donated for this donated for a run back. We've got a lot of feedback to give. Got a lot of feedback to give. Is Experiment one a shaman? I feel like that's not a shaman. No, that's an ooze. That's a human ooze. Is Rage Forger just any card with a token? River creature. Huh, that's actually really interesting to note. That's just any creature. There's one Reclamation Sage in here. Use these pennies to tell you once I get past my crappy web page, I'll use my Chinese money to resub. PSA, the Chinese card page on Twitch is a horror to read and navigate. That sucks. Well, thanks, Green Sky. So I'm going to play Baronet here. I think I'm going to go ahead and do this and go find me a Rage Forger. I feel like if this deck, like, wants more aggressive cards in it, right? Like, there should probably be, like, 12 1-drops. Like, the Harbingers are decent because, like, Rage Forgers are best cards. Like, it gets us more Rage Forgers consistently. But I really feel like there should probably be, like, Fire Drinker Satyrs, and, like, Experiment one actually sounds pretty good, too. I think I'm actually, if they pass the turn with this up, I'm actually not going to play the Rage Forger this turn. They're actually missing a land drop here, so I'm just going to, like, cast this kicked. Just, like, put you in the ground. Yeah. This deck needs Mimic as a second Lord. Maybe. I kind of feel like I like Lords that, I like the idea of Lords that you can get off of Collected Company later. Is Adaptive Automaton unplayable in this format? Is that not good enough? Can I play that? Is that too terrible? Can I play like 2 copies of that as an extra Lord? Oh, I was on the play. You're right. They didn't miss a land drop. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. That's fine. I think it's still right to Stone Rain them there. I feel like this card's probably okay just because it has haste, but I feel like the like land destruction package at the top end of this deck is kind of some nonsense. You feel like we're playing 2 copies of Fulminator Mage. The problem is that, like, Fulminator Mage, you have to sack it to destroy the land, and, like, we're trying to pressure our opponent. So, like, I really feel like this deck should probably just be, like, trying to pressure the opponent more than anything. So I assume the Rage Forger is dead here. The deck list is on screen, chat. Can we please look at the deck list before we start making suggestions? People are now suggesting cards that are, like, literally in the deck. It's possible 1 or 2 Shaman of the Great Hunt could be okay. Just because, like, I know it doesn't get hit from Collected Company, but, like, it's an aggressive card with haste, and it gets to like help enable our Rage Forgers by putting 1/1 counters on things. All right, if we can find some rage here on this Collected Company, we might be in business, chat. I like that Coco lets us arrange the bottom 6 cards of our deck, right? Shocked in Breeding Pool. I think that means I just pass here. That is a Shaman, isn't it? That's funny. Oh, they have, oh, I'm so dumb. There's a thing. There's a thing. They have a cage. Alright, let's try again. Let's try again. Yeah, I really feel like the core of this deck feels awkward to me. There's, like, this Ruinblaster Fulminator thing going on, and, like, there's like this. I really don't understand why this card is in the deck, and, like, this card is also seems really terrible because, like, it's a 2-mana ramp card that, like, ramps us into 3-drops, I guess, because it can't ramp into Collected Company because it can only be spent on a creature spell. I mean, yep. Yeah, I agree. I agree. This deck does not. Yep. Not just no point. I concur. I don't know that we're gonna play all 5 matches with this deck. It's really, I think we might play 2 or 3. We'll play 3, but I think we'll play 3 and then we'll tear it down and rebuild it. Yeah, humans. Little did you know you are the 2nd best tribe in Modern after Shamans. Yeah, and usually, like, I should have paid more attention when the person submitted this deck list. Usually, like, a warning sign that, like, your aggressive deck probably isn't well built is, like, your aggressive deck shouldn't have a bunch of, like, random 2 and 3-ofs by and large. Like, 2 and 3-ofs should be limited to decks that are generally mid-range or control decks because they're looking to see a lot of different cards as games go long. No, I don't believe so. Deathrite Shaman is 1 mana. Hey, Milla with the $10 donation. I think I'm actually going to play the Harbinger here because I want to put Rage Forger on top of my deck. Here's the Oops All Belchers deck I whispered you. Can you whisper me again, Milla, just so I remember later? In the future, can you please put the link in the donation message? Please and thank you. I actually think Rattleclaw Mystic is kind of okay. Like, it's a 2-power dork, which is fine, and it lets you cast Collected Company sooner. So, like, I think just playing 4 of this card as your only mana dork is probably fine. Excellent. Excellent. I will take my victories with a side of Mana Screw. I like how this card has 1 legal target. Magic Online still makes me click on it. Obligatory less variants at Hearthstone, right? Getcha. Go on, give it to you. Go on, give it to you. So they're going to 11 here. Nah, that's not quite good enough. 1/1 for 1 is not good. The only reason this card, yeah, buddy, is even close to passable is because Rageforge is actually a very good payoff in this deck. You ready to die? Just asserting our dominance as the superior tribe in Modern, as our opponent kept a 1-lander and fails to get there. I said always yes. This humans deck is terrible. Why do people play this humans deck? Yeah, Fire Drinker Satyr is probably a card this deck wants, just to like play good power cards on curve. Lambhold Pacifist is probably too hard to turn on. I guess Rageforger turns on Lambhold Pacifist. Shaman of the Great Hunt would turn on Lambhold Pacifist. So we're gonna board in all this removal. The flip side's just a 4/4. We could play Adaptive Automaton to turn on the Pacifist because it can enable itself. Maybe like a couple of Lambhold Pacifists could be okay. Just like good cards to give you the beatdown. Nah, see, chat keeps suggesting cards that are just like really expensive in terms of, whoa, baby. Hit me, baby, one more time. I retweeted PVDR's tweet about Blue-Green Tarn. It was quite excellent. Just A+. A+. No, I don't think you want Aether Vial. I mean, to be fair, the Shaman's list is pretty medium. Yeah, I think I probably want some interaction in the main deck. The fact that there's just like, I like having a lot of Collected Company hits, but at the same time, like, 0 bolts in the main deck is probably silly. I did see that, Hydra. So the professionals spent a lot of time preparing and then came to bad conclusions. Hope you're not enjoying the stream, Darkstar. That's fine. I wouldn't be surprised if they named this because it's like our best card. But if they name this, it's very spooky. This is a good clean name, I think. Just like name the card that fucks you up. Is that a shaman? No, that's a monk. That's a monk. They named Abbot of Carroll Keep. I wonder if that was a misclick. I feel like this card is some nonsense in this deck too. I feel like this is just too slow. I feel like this is supposed to be like a red-green beatdown deck. Alright, well. Yeah, could you like imagine if this was like a Lambhold Pacifist? Or like just a Rage Forger them next turn? No, I don't think so. I think we want to stay on synergy with the shaman theme. I think Rage Forger is actually like kind of a powerful card. I think this card does actually kill people very quickly if you have a board. I think just part of the problem is this deck doesn't build a board consistently enough. Like the lack of 1-drops is a pretty big crime. Like the fact that you can't go like 1-drop into 2-drop into Rage Forger consistently seems wrong. Yeah, we're actually going to play a Jund deck with 4 Tireless Trackers in it later today. The list is on my Twitter account. If you are interested. God, they're like fucking dead next turn, huh? Nice. Nice human deck. Nice deck, opponent. I don't think you need to drop Collected Company. Like you only need like 30 company hits in your company deck, which means we get 9 with like 20 to 21 lands. We get 9 hits or like 9 things that don't get hit by it, and like this deck is definitely around there. Yeah. Despite all his rage, he is still just a rat in a cage. Someone will save what is lost. Can never be saved. Why must I click on every trigger? I like 30. I enjoy not rearranging the bottom 6 cards of my deck, so I think 30 is where you're supposed to start. And if you want to like board down to 28 occasionally, it's probably fine. It depends on the card. If it's a card I'm interested in playing with otherwise, yeah, probably. If it's a card that I wouldn't be interested in brewing with, usually I look for a larger donation, just because like it does take work to actually build decks. So if it's not something like if it's not something I wasn't like actively felt like investing my off time in, I need a little bit extra to make the time worth it. Thanks, Full Bell. It is mind-boggling to me how little WotC understands the digital market. And I guess like looking at Arena, it looks like they finally got the software part right. So like I guess it shouldn't surprise me that they've like fucked up Arena in every other way possible, it seems. And this is something that this is just like a good example for the person that, yeah, this is a lot of this is things that I'm thinking about here. This is a Shaman's deck from Esso. Yeah, like so basically the TLDR for people is even if you want to work on new decks in Modern, guess what? There are a finite number of playable cards in Modern, so you should probably look at the work other people have done before you. It's like this list looks, except for this card being a pile of poop, like the core of this list seems very reasonable. Like you should always look at the work of people that have come before you to try and see like what you're like. If I thought like I want to build red-green shamans, the first thing I would do is Google red-green shamans modern. And like the other people have done some legwork. I'm like, well, I can look at this list and go, well, they're not playing Rattleclaw Mystic, and Rattleclaw Mystic is probably a lot better than Bosk Banneret, so I want to make that change. But like the core ideas that this deck is doing still seem very reasonable. Not only that, but your real draft that costs $12 is going to give you real physical Magic cards that you can sell for actual money afterwards. So like, if you crack a bomb rare, the draft really didn't cost you anything. I mean, looking at this deck list, it looks like I would be surprised if the person looked up another deck list. All right. After a bad beat from them and a nut draw from us, it looks like we're on our way here. I don't know about $1, but like it should be cheaper than it is, right? Like Hearthstone Arena costs $2 or $1.50, right? WotC announced that competitive drafts on Magic Arena are going to cost $10 worth of in-game currency. And that's the same for me too, Eldora. Like, without a non-rotating format support, Arena's dead on arrival for me. Correct. $10 is way too much for a draft in a CCG. Well, that's the upside to playing a deck like this. Sometimes your opponent looks at your hand with a Thoughtseize and takes the worst card. I mean, I don't play limited, so I'm not familiar with the draft prizes. Is $10 that bad for what do drafts cost on Magic Online? How much are they? I don't actually have a comparison base. They have not said whether or not they might support them in the future, and honestly, they probably won't say up front if they plan to support something like that, because if they announce that Modern and stuff like that could be coming to Arena, then that's a threat to Magic Online, essentially. I'm playing Magic Online on a Linux computer right now, and you can run it on OS X using the same tools that I'm using to run it on Linux, as a heads up. Wine is quality software. The JAC deck is sweet. Man. I mean, I guess we're winning games. I guess we're winning games. I want to board these bolts in because it looks like they're Mardu Pyromancer. Bring in this Lead the Stampede and this Chameleon Colossus, I think. Let's just keep drawing Burning-Tree Shaman nut hands. Can we please just keep drawing Burning-Tree Shaman nut hands? Fire Drinker Satyr. I think this deck wants Fire Drinker Satyr and Experiment 1. Fire Drinker Satyr and Experiment 1. Green Red Shaman confirmed best deck in Modern. Thanks, Tex. I appreciate it. I think they're supposed to take a Flamekin or a Burning Tree here. Depending on their hand, I could see them taking the Lightning Bolt too, but... Thanks for the 14 months, Tex. Long time. Yeah, more Rec Sage would be good too. We're gonna strip this deck down and like keep the Rage Forger and like readjust all the other details, I think. Chat, people that want to have a fun gatherer search, are there any shamans that act as pseudo removal? If you feel like exploring the gatherer, look and see if there's any shamans that act as pseudo removal. Oh, that was a mistake. I didn't realize they took that. Whoops. Should have played that tapped. Spike Shot Goblin. Yep, that's a pretty bad one. Tracker, okay. Okay, maybe a couple trackers could be okay. Okay, so I had to take 2 damage that I didn't necessarily need to take here, because I'm an idiot. Mistakes were made. Traverse the Elven Wald in a non-Death Shadow package. Dr. Peasy. You have a bolt or a push here? Looks like it. Poor Wolf-Skull Shaman. So young. So naive. Do I even want to play this card? Alcohol, there is a deck list on your screen. If you're on mobile, type !deck in chat. Come on, you've been here a while. You know the drill. You know the drill. Cause like I kind of need to draw a land is the problem. Like Rage Forger's nice, but like I can't cast it next turn, so I don't have a land. Complex System. Thank you for the Twitch Prime support. I do appreciate that. Welcome. Yeah, I have a link to Saffron Olive's list up there. What's going on, Gator? Yeah, it's definitely. I'm like a lot of my attitudes here and like the things that I do on stream are definitely driven by things that like I expect from like my students when I teach. All right, so I'm just gonna ship into them. I definitely just want to try and burn them out here. Like this is a genuinely powerful aggressive card. Like what this card does and the amount of damage output it generates for the mana that you put into it is very, very good. I'm going to take the deck and strip it down and rebuild it here in about after this match. I don't think I'm gonna play a 4th match. Like we're like winning some games, but like there's so many just like awkward things in this deck list that I'm really just not really into. We're getting double Colligans commanded here. That would be vomit inducing. Yeah, the kids are back at school and feeling better. So that's nice. Yeah, playing the Rattleclaw there probably would have been better. It would have ended up being the same, but you're right. Playing Rattleclaw so we could guarantee the Rage Forger for lived would have been better. Yeah, I don't really have anything to do here. Goblin Shaman, whenever a player casts a red spell, you may pay 1. Nah, I feel like you're just not going to have that much extra mana lying around a lot of the time. It seems good. And that's why Rattleclaw seems fine, in addition to being like a pseudo grizzly bear, like a 2-power, 2-drop, like cast Collected Company ahead of curve. There are quite literally Lead the Stampedes in our deck. I think that card is fine. I think that card is good in creature-based matchups and additional way to generate card advantage. I think one of them's a little bit weird, but like playing a couple is reasonable. We're not playing Kiki Jiki. I'm aware that Kiki Jiki is a shaman. We might play Shaman of the Great Hunt. That's gonna be the only shaman we're gonna consider that might not get hit by Collected Company. Wolf-Skull Shaman seems kind of suspect. Maybe a couple are okay. I don't know, I think that card's like by and large a grizzly bear. Lightning Crafter. What does that card do? That's cute. It's a little slow. I don't know. I think, like I said, I think one of the best ways to build new decks in Modern is to like pick a card that you think is powerful and then build around that card. And I think picking Rage Forger as a card that you want to try and maximize in Modern doesn't seem unreasonable to me. I think like in terms of just like raw power level of what the card is doing, Rage Forger seems like a card that's like 3 mana as a top end card for an aggressive deck in Modern is like very reasonable. And the amount of damage output that card generates for the mana that you put into it is very, very high. You need to minimize the amount of non-collected company hits, chat. So I think this deck wants some Lightning Bolts in its main deck, because Lightning Bolt is a great Magic the Gathering card. I think this deck might want a Shaman of the Great Hunt or two, and then that's probably it. Those are all the non-collected company hits we can play. Seasoned Pass is a card that's much too clunky for Modern. A 6-mana card that doesn't win the game generally isn't very playable in Modern. And this is why this card's neat and good, because even if I put in a spot removal here for my Rage Forger, we're going to get counters off of it, which is going to be valuable and generate value for us. Was that a good draw? What do you think of that one? What if we just draw all of our collected companies? Again, you're not trying to play a counters theme. I think you probably really only have room for one theme in your deck, and that theme is probably Rage Forger. Do I want to hit with this? Am I okay with them trading both of these for this? I guess next turn I get another Rage Forger, which is nice. Let's enter combat and see if I get to attack. I think I'm okay trading this for these two and 1 point of damage here. I think that's fine with the Rage Forger on top of my deck. I think I'm okay with this exchange. I'm kind of the suggestions that we're getting in chat is a big part of why I don't like building decks on stream a lot of the time, because it's tough. I feel like it's tough to build decks on stream and make it a good engaging experience. When we rebuild this deck here really quick, I'm just gonna put a bunch of cards together and not really take a bunch of feedback from chat, because when you start taking feedback from chat, it starts becoming this really long process, and you always leave someone feeling like their voice didn't get heard, which isn't enjoyable for people. I think a couple of internal witnesses are great. I think having this kind of card that synergizes with the things you're doing anyways, while giving you some end game longevity, is very reasonable. Alright, let's just smush them into the ground. And again, like, this is a good example of, like, Rage Forger seeming like a very reasonable Magic the Gathering card. Just like, it added 5 power to the table, and it dealt 3 points of direct damage to my opponent. Like, as far as, like, a 3-mana card in Modern goes, that's a playable Modern card. A card that adds 5 power and does 3 damage to the face. Like, yeah, that's a good rate for 3 mana in Modern. Modern is a format that's brutal and fast and efficient, and you can only play so many 3+ mana cards. So if I want to play 4 Tireless Trackers, I have to cut something. You can't play 4 Tireless Trackers, 4 Bloodbraid Elves, Lilianas, Maelstrom Pulses, and expect to just not fucking die. Because that's what's going to happen. You're just going to fucking die. I mean, the deck tech of Goldfish is basically a few of the things that I was thinking about doing anyways. I'm not sure I actually like Metallic Mimic. I'm not sure I actually like... Are they dead? They're almost dead, right? Like, they have to double chump block and they're going to go to 1. I think Katarka's Command is too cute. Again, you can only have so many cards that your collected companies don't hit, and I think Lightning Bolt is just much better than something like Katarka's Command. So, this is gonna feel weird to some people, but, like, I really don't enjoy playing decks that feel, like, really awkward. Just because you're winning with a deck doesn't mean that the deck is well built and efficient and should be something that you should think is optimal. Like, you need to be, like, objective from your results, and like if we look back at that league, like, we're 2-1 in that league, but, like, the humans matchup, we had our opponent stumble and die on 1 land. We had to, like, double and triple Burning-Tree Emissary draws at multiple points, which are things that are going to happen on occasion, but, like, I think to expect them to be, like, the average of what you're doing is, like, not reasonable. All right, so basically, again, I think Rage Forger is the card you want to maximize with this deck, so I want to build this deck in a way to maximize this effect. I think these Beastcallers and these Bosks are kind of nonsense. They're, like, making cards cheaper that, like, don't need to be made cheaper. I think Fauna Shaman's probably kind of bad, and I'm gonna hold these off to the side for now. We may or may not want those. I'm gonna slide these Fulminator Mages into the sideboard for the time being. So I want for starters, I want 4 Cavern of Souls. Play the messed up card. Play 4 copies of the card that's, like, a big payoff for, like, playing a tribal archetype. And that payoff is Cavern of Souls. Do I want a couple copies of... I feel like I want a couple copies of Horizon Canopy. There's a reason why this card and this card are, like, what, like $90 or $100 or something ridiculous. Like, they're very good. They're very good. I think I want 22 lands probably. No, I think I'd rather have Horizon Canopy than Mutavault. I think trying to play colorless lands in this deck's a little bit greedy. I think trying to play colorless lands is probably a little bit greedy. Some Fire Drinker Satyrs. The idea of Experiment 1 sounds good. This isn't a Shaman, but Rage Forger trigger doesn't care about a Shaman. It only cares that a creature with a 1/1 counter you control attacks. So this attacking is going to trigger Rage Forger. I think Rattleclaw Mystic to cast faster collecting companies on occasion while also being a 2-power guy is very reasonable. I think Elvish Visionary cantripping sounds great. No, I don't plan to play this deck again today. So the person that donated for this deck donated for me to do another run back for it at a later date. So I am making adjustments now while the games that we just played are fresh in my mind. And then at a future date, we will be playing some more with this deck. I think I'd rather play Adaptive Automaton. because it's a card that gets hit by... It's a card that gets hit by Collected Company. Yeah, I think Great Hunt's actually pretty reasonable too, potentially. I don't know, maybe that's just too expensive. There's a good chance that's just too much mana. Like, I kind of want some lightning bolts in here. Metallic Mimic puts counters on things, but I kind of like the idea of, like, being able to, like, play my cards at the top of my curve as opposed to towards the bottom of the curve. Because, like, Metallic Mimic feels really bad after you've already have your stuff in play, right? It's a little bit less synergistic with Rage Forger, but at the same time, like, Rage Forger is such a good card, I feel like you don't need to play other cards to maximize it more. I think I just want 2 copies of Lightning Bolt as the last 2 cards in the main deck. Alright, and then what is the sideboard doing? I think I just want a few Reclamation Sages. I think it's silly to not play a modern playable card. I think the Witnesses are really good. I think the Witnesses are valuable. I think being able to rebuy Collected Company is very good. I actually kind of like the one Chameleon Colossus. I think having this to fetch with the Flamekin Harbinger seems good. Definitely want a 4th Lightning Bolt in the board. Just like board up to 4 of the good card. For when we need to kill people. I think I want at least 2 Lead the Stampede. What do I want Essence Warden for? I feel like by making the deck more aggressive, the solution to other aggressive decks and decks like Burn is you can just kill them, right? You can just kill them. I think I'd rather have Lead the Stampede than Shaper Sanctuary. I like that Lead the Stampede's a card that you can draw off the top like Collected Company and just like gas up. Hey, X-Fame, thank you very much for the brand new Twitch Prime support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting mine this month. Whenever a player activates the ability, isn't a man ability. Huh, that's actually pretty good. That hoses some things in Modern. And also just like lets us board bigger too on occasion. Let's throw 2 of those in there. And then there's no way this deck is fast enough to keep up with Storm, right? Just like 0% chance. So there should probably just be some wet balls in the board, right? It's probably some nonsense to just not have a bunch of copies of these. Yeah, I think I like this. You're probably pretty decent against Tron with like these 5 cards and then like some pressure. All right, yeah, I think I'm gonna leave this here. I'm gonna export this to a text file and then take a screenshot and post it in. Oh, I just overwrote the old one. Oh, that's fine. I have it on Stream Decker. So again, someone donated for 2 runs of Shamans. They donated for the first run, and then they asked me to update it. So I'm going to, this is already in the queue. I'm just gonna attach this deck list image to it really quick here. The Green-Red Shamans run back is currently at 32 points. So at a future date, when the Green-Red Shamans run back gets up towards the top of the queue, we'll be playing this. People that missed the deck building portion, I'm going to upload this deck building portion to YouTube as well, so you can hear us talk about why I shot down cards like Metallic Mimic and other cards like that. All right.